was underneath this lamppost in the Tottenham High Road, just 100 yards or so from where the ground stands today, that in September 1882, a group of young members of the Hotspur Cricket Club met to form a football section. What's in a name, you might ask? Well, in this case, quite a lot. The boys' imagination had been captured by the legendary deeds of one Harry Hotspur, immortalised in Shakespeare, but in real life, Sir Henry Percy, a member of the wealthy Northumberland family who at that time owned large parts of North London. So the new football club, looking for a dash of style towards the end of the 19th century, forsook the familiar town, United or City, and called themselves Tottenham Hotspur.
I can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game. And naturally, I'm a Tottenham man, obviously. And so, therefore, the first result I look for in any game, in any Saturday, is Tottenham Hotspur's result.
Match with my father, and I was rolled over all the people's heads horizontally down onto the fence round the ground, as were a lot of other boys. This wasn't unique. It is what happened when there was a large crowd and little boys couldn't see very much.
That day they saw Spurs captain Arthur Grimsdale receive the cup from the King. Rowe himself became a stylish centre-half for Spurs during the 30s, and when he returned to Tottenham as manager in 1949, he had a lively team. The classic Welsh wing half, Ron Burgess, was captain and led Spurs to the championship of the second and first divisions in consecutive years, in 1950 and 1951. Spurs' signature tune then was McNamara's Band, and their tactics were known as push and run.
The push and run, you had a few didn't understand what you were talking about, you know, which is easy, you can tell from me now. But we were trained in the car park, and when it was dry and that, and I used to give them a ball and tend to pass the ball, kick the ball into the wall, run forward and pick up with a turn, do it again, you know. I said, now look, that's easy, isn't it? So we stick a player there, and when he passes the ball, you'll find out it's just as easy. And it's just as easy on the field if you believe it's easy and if you do what you're doing now.
In the push and run team were Eddie Bailey, Ted Ditchburn, Alf Ramsey and a wing half called Bill Nicholson.
We found, when the team was going over the top, that there was more to this push and run than appeared on the surface. You have got to have good vision. You've got to have good movement off the ball. You've got to have excellent anticipation. You've got to be able to pass the ball first time with accuracy. And even though we had good players afterwards, we could never maintain that push and run which the 1950-51 side had maintained.
So Nicholson the player became Nicholson the coach, and in 1958, Nicholson the manager, building his team around arguably the most influential player ever to wear the Tottenham shirt. To the vision and wisdom of Danny Blanchflower, Nicholson added the mercurial ball play of Scotland's John White. Also from north of the border, to the peal of thunder, came Dave Mackay.
Mackay did so much for Tottenham. When he first came here, he transformed everything. It was remarkable. I can't explain it really, but he came into the training sessions at the first stage and everybody just went, you know, what have we got here? You know, and because everything was so important. Everything was dynamic. And there were squabbles galore over goals, whether they were goals or weren't goals, even in five-a-side matches.
This time Mackay decides on a short one. Both the wing halves up in attack now, and another very fine save by Dunlop. Spurs really piling it on now. Through to Smith, he's got a chance.
That goal, engineered by Mackay and Blanchflower, was the first of 115 that Spurs scored in the league alone in their all-conquering double season of 1960-61. They began with 11 straight wins, and among a string of opponents to be overwhelmed and outclassed were Fulham.
Over 20 minutes gone. It's now Allen going down and scores! And Blanchflower, that Lovely swinging pass to Dyson. And 3 Fulham defenders move across there. And Jones gets his head on a great goal.
Cliff Jones excelled as Spurs won the championship in a canter. Now they marched on to Wembley and the FA Cup final. Here, Leicester City, reduced to 10 fit men early in the game, could not halt the irresistible force now known simply as Super Spurs. Centre-forward Bobby Smith thumped the first goal past Gordon Banks. And it was the bustling figure of Smith again who laid on the second goal for another Yorkshireman, the little outside left, Terry Dyson. Spurs supporters, always a mixture of the ribald and the rich, saw their club become the first this century to win the cherished double. But amid the celebrations, Tottenham were already thinking ahead to the European Cup and to the bold, inspired signing of Jimmy Greaves, the greatest goalscorer of his generation. Here was the duel to give Spurs their crowning glory. His instinct and impudence worshipped at White Hart Lane. Greaves returned from Italy to score a hat-trick on his Spurs debut against Blackpool. Just 3 of 357 league goals in a dazzling career. 220 for Spurs.
Jimmy was an excellent player. He was an excellent goal scorer. He had a lot more skill than people gave him credit for. He had a lot of good passing ability. But, of course, the most important thing was his ability to get the ball in the net. And I've tried several times since then, even while talking to people like our dealers, to say, look, you get into these positions and yet you can't score. When Jimmy Greaves got into these positions, he didn't try to blast the back of the net out. He seemed to place the ball just inside the post, as if he's making a pass to the stanchion in the back of the net.
Mullery for Spurs. Greaves. Beautiful play. Monker. Robbed by Perriman, and Greaves has got the whole field. He's got the whole field to himself. He'll have to beat the defender. He's got the goalkeeper now.
It completely was the buying of players like White and Mackay and Bill Brown, and then later on, of course, Jimmy Greaves. They were the men that really changed everything.
I love it that Tottenham's got this tradition, and that we've got to keep to this tradition of being a really good footballing outfit.
You know, when you're at a club like Tottenham, they expect you to win all the time, and rightly so. You know, it's the best club in the country as far as I'm concerned.
The first ever Tottenham team played their football on a patch of public marshland, moving to the site of their present ground in 1899. 2 years later, as a Southern League club, they won the FA Cup. Spurs drew 2-2 with Sheffield United at Crystal Palace, Scotsman Sandy Brown scoring both Tottenham's goals. He got another in the replay at Bolton, where Spurs won 3-1, starting a habit of winning a trophy when there was a 1 at the end of the year. This priceless copy of the Tottenham programme marked their opening Football League match, played in September 1908. Wolves were the opposition, Spurs won 3-0, and their first goal in league football was scored by the illustrious Vivian Woodward, a director of the club as well as a brilliant amateur player.
Looking back over all the years that you've been associated with Spurs, either as player, manager, supporter, what do you think the club really means to you?
A lot. I liked them. They were a great club, and to be associated with them was nice.
again. Oh, it's in a superb goal by Hollow.
That's a near post and on your ups to punch.
Oh, what a goal! It's Danny Rose on his Premier League debut. The foe's in here. Can he finish it again? Oh, you bet he can. He's got 5. Sheringham! That is a picture, an absolute picture. Media. Oh, good play by Media. Martinez. Oh, a lovely combination here, and he's gone for goal. And he's got Pavlyuchenko in support. It's a great ball. It's a great goal. In towards Bailey on the volley. Oh, and what a save again. Who scored the goal and set them on their way, lays on another for Malbron. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. And Martin Peters hitting one, and Muller is